that has ad nauseum as its time frame, possibly. But I've been very impressed. I suppose that kind of skill and talent is a credit to, what would the answer to that be, everyone? The CTL educational seminars and programs, probably. Trial lawyers are lucky, too. I'm not just speaking for myself. Every single day is different. You can have the most routine sort of cases come after each other, and yet your days are different. Think of how lucky that is, how few people can say that every day is different. There's always a new person to help. This room, right in here tonight, is filled with lawyers who have heroically changed the fabric of life in this state, if not in this country. In my own office, there was de facto school segregation as late as the early 80s in Bridgeport. There was a fire department that had no people of color at all. People in this room take on ungodly acts by people of God. People in this room attack age discrimination, gender discrimination, tobacco companies, police wiretaps. This list could go on and on. If we were to remove from this state the work of the people just in this room, we would have so much a diminished, more corrosive society that it'd be hard to fathom. And it's hard as you grind out your workday to think that you're part of that. Maybe from the repose of watching it happen and doing it for a long time, it's easy to see historically that that is what you are about. The pundits you've all heard bemoan how there's too much civility, there's no more bipartisanship, and they often point back to the Tip O'Neill, Ev Dirksen days. What they don't usually go on to mention is that the days they now fondly recall represent a period of time when Congress was 50-60% lawyers. Okay, everybody thought that's what was wrong with it then. Not so sure that was correct at all. Think this about the profession of trial lawyers if you're looking to compliment yourself. Where else would you find a group who so generously organizes itself to teach those coming up, to teach those future competitors the skills and to give them the knowledge, in a sense, to probably take away some of their business? That's a pretty noble, generous kind of gesture. And trial lawyer associations on both sides of the bar do that all the time. And you've all been the beneficiaries of that. Our speaker tonight is a gigantic, heroic warrior for a long time, Mr. Morris Dees. He worked in one of his cases where the Vietnamese shrimpers of Galveston had been harassed by the Ku Klux Klan to the point where families were threatened, assaults had occurred, and boats were burned. He went to federal court, dragging the defendants in, urging those who were victims and terrified to testify, got an injunction with the teeth of contempt attached to it, and stood overlooking the harbor on the day of opening season after the blessing of the fleet and watched his Vietnamese shrimpers go to sea at peace for the first time. And he wrote of that, and he said, the promise of this new day seemed to have no limits. And then he wrote, I felt proud to be a lawyer. Well, of course, well, he should have. And I've often felt that I'm seeing lawyers daily or weekly who I hope are saying to themselves, I'm proud to be a lawyer, because they sure deserve to reach over and pat themselves on the back to do that. I hope you're all blessed enough to have presence of mind to say that to yourself time after time. I'd like to say a word as I get close to the end here about Ted Koskoff. As you know, if you spent 23 years when I did, you spent 18 or so of that with Ted Koskoff. And he was a beloved leader of this little outfit here. I'm very happy to see that the beloved and dear friend of another co-founder, Leon Riscassi, Mr. Bill Davis, is with us tonight. He goes back to those early days as well. And I know Ted would be especially happy for me that the organization he loved paid one of his own the nice compliment that your board bestowed upon me tonight. Last but not least, I'd like to mention a word about my family. Joe mentioned, I think, in his remarks today that the group could determine whether his children wanted to come today by their absence, I guess. And I've got one of my three here. Andrew Nadeau is here. He's 16 years old, and he's the most interesting young guy you could know. My fondest wish was that I could be 16 again, just in order to be his pal and do some of the stuff he does and would like to do. My wife, Joan, is now approaching my wife of 25 years. She's a great mother. Oddly enough, I'm not the best public speaker in the house. Joan is. Tony Soprano would say, and she's a good earner, too. Give you kind of an idea of the kind of husband she has suffered through. About 2-3 years ago, she lost the wedding ring. So to show you the kind of guy I am, the kind of romantic I am, I replaced it and went and got this gorgeous, gold, shiny ring. Up on top, a little kind of clasp thing so that if she ever wanted to get a stone for herself, it would fit right in there, you know. Now, because we are lawyers and so careful about plagiarism and copyright, that's Larry the Cable Guy, in case some of you recognized it. I have a daughter, Jessica, and a son, Jonathan, of whom I am well proud as well. I want to thank the Board of Governors of the Trial Lawyers Association of Connecticut. They've gone beyond justice in bestowing this upon me, and I'm hugely grateful. And thanks again, Cynthia. Thanks, everyone.
Your Honor, that was absolutely fantastic and from the heart. We're very proud to have you here at our meeting, and it's a well-deserved judicial award. Thank you so much.